Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 14 for February 12th, 2020. I am Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yes, got a bit of a tonally different anime this time around. A couple things, I guess, happened anime-wise right after we recorded the last one. The whole thing with that, what was it, the interspecies reviewers or whatever thing just popped up in like a Funimation and pulling it, and then a TV station in Japan pulling it, and everyone and people freaking out because I need my anime titty.
It's censorship.
Yeah, the only thing I would actually say is the only real bad result from that is the voice actors who are dubbing it for Funimation kind of suddenly getting a contract pulled out from under them.
Yeah, hopefully there's like a severance or something.
I don't know. Yeah, they all work on contract, by the way, so they weren't fired.
Yeah.
But anyway, the only thing that's the only real, I think, actual bad thing to come out of that, it would be that. It's just all of a sudden, nope, you don't have that contract anymore.
Yep. Loss of income.
Otherwise, who cares? It's just, if you really are that desperate,
There's
there are other ways to
can...
watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Promare.
Yes, Promare. That's a big one.
Promare's Blu-ray.
Happened. Yeah, G-Kids and
G-Kids, Shout Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're releasing the US release of the Blu-ray.
So far, I think, as of recording at least, I remember the only thing right now is just a basic version.
So far.
There's like no special editions.
Who knows if the will? Shout Factories doesn't tend to do those.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, finally.
Finally.
We'll be able to. They don't even have a date yet.
Yeah.
It's just pre-orders up though.
Pre-orders are there.
And it's Amazon, so you can cancel anytime, just in case they announce a limited edition or something. You can just cancel and get that.
Which I should totally do because I totally forgot about.
Yeah, you did. Shame on you.
Talked about it last week too.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about those things
Yet.
Yeah, Promare we will get to. I don't think we'll ever do interspecies readers.
No, I don't think that's ever going to be one of the things we talk about.
We're here to actually talk about Girls' Last Tour, as I said last time. A very, tonally very different from a lot of the stuff we've been doing recently. Let's see. It's about two girls wandering around in the world. That's a good way to put it without spoiling anything, I guess.
Walking, was it moving potatoes or what is it?
Someone called it like that, moving potatoes.
Yeah, moving potatoes.
Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it without spoiling anything. And I would also say very much, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out for sure.
Yeah, if you want to just go with a non-spoiler, what we recommend, yes. It was quite enjoyable. And you said tonally, not totally.
Yeah.
Tonally different than
most of the stuff we talk about.
It
definitely not Sailor Moon.
I didn't really know what to expect going into it, so I was a bit surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had no idea what to expect, so obviously. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was definitely different, and I did definitely enjoy it. So for a non-spoilery version.
So to actually get into the details though, so warning. So we're getting details
before we spoil it.
Yeah, and getting details. I would actually, I think two words that would really sum this anime up really well are introspective and somber.
Yes.
This one is not exactly the happiest. There's definitely fun moments and funny moments and whatnot, and the characters are happy at times, but it's not exactly the most optimistic anime in the world.
It's not. It's a post-apocalyptic, bleak future.
It's not even, in fact, it almost seems like it might be the second apocalypse
or a third. Who knows? They don't really give a long.
There's a lot of stuff that simply just isn't. There's a lot of stuff that simply isn't explained at all. Or if it is, it's like you have to pick up. You have to pick up by face on the context clues and whatnot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff like that. But anyway, it stars two girls, Chito and Yuri. Those are the two of them.
Yep.
And they're running around in a kitten crad, and they're trying to survive. That's it. That is really the whole series.
Yep.
I mean, granted, there's a lot of stuff they encounter along the way, but they're just trying to survive by themselves. They're like teenagers, possibly young teenagers. It's their ages are vague and unknown, but just based off what I saw, I would say they're probably teenagers.
Yeah, probably.
Middle school, probably, maybe high school.
Early high school.
Somewhere in that range. But anyway, they're like in like military uniforms.
Yeah.
Helmets. One of them's armed.
Like I said earlier, I didn't exactly know what to expect, because all you see is like the art, like the cover art, whatever they call that, key visuals or whatnot. Yeah, the key visual and the name Girls Last Tour, and you see tanks and military uniforms. I was starting to expect something a little bit different with how it starts, military vehicles. I thought somehow they were actually, there was like a war going on that they were somehow actively part of.
Nope.
Because it's a tour, a military tour, and that's what it looks like. But so I was really curious as to what exactly is going on, because I see them just kind of, we started in the first episode with them just on their vehicle going through an empty place. It's like, the hell kind of orders do they have to go there? What are they doing?
They don't have any orders.
And that's what the thing is. They don't. There's no one giving them orders. They're basically just scrounging.
Yep.
Their uniforms and stuff are probably just, scrounged. But I can't remember. Did they have them when they left? They did. But they were probably scrounged during the actual war that they left, because there was something going on. Or
given to them by their grandfather.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those weird things. Apparently, it's their grandpa's not actually their grandpa. It's one of those type of situations.
Yeah. Family doesn't always mean blood relation.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what it's like. When I first saw the title and the visuals, that's what I was thinking. It was definitely not that.
Nope.
But it does kind of make you... It seems like it's intending to make you think that at first, just so they can show you how it's not that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, but also the other thing is like the title. It's Girls Last Tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is it the last tour?
Yeah. But like I said, it's the apocalypse has already happened. This is after everything's already gone to hell.
At least twice.
They're in they're in the ruins of a city, and there's like this weird city with like all multiple levels to it, which I think it's a concept I've seen tossed around a couple times.
I've
like
seen
one
it.
in
Final
Human
Fantasy
Revolution.
did it.
I think it's on Human Revolution as well.
Human Revolution. Deus Ex did it.
Yeah.
Doctor Who did it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy did it.
They're just trying to get to the top
common.
level.
Yep.
And whatnot. And clearly everything's ruined and abandoned. They see only 2 humans ever.
Yep.
At separate times. And it's just, they're just trying to get by finding food and whatnot. They find like rations. They have to find gas for the vehicle and all sorts of stuff like that. And yeah, you just see that's where you pick up the context of stuff like how things worked and whatnot. And like they don't even know like a lot of stuff like Yuri, for example, they don't know she's never seen a fish before. They've never seen a fish before. They don't know. Cheeto knows just because she's read about it. Yep. Because only Cheetos can read. Yuri can't.
Yuri can't even read. So things have really kind of fallen apart.
Mm-hmm. But you get stuff like that, and they're like seeing like weird statues and stuff. They don't know what those are. They only know what they need to know to survive, basically, for the most part. And they know some vague things from Cheeto just because she's read before some of the stuff about a bunch of this stuff. But it's just you the viewer can recognize stuff based off what you see. Like, for example, there's a sign that's in Japanese and Cheeto can't read it.
Yeah. But
she can read this other script, which is not Japanese, but kind of similar. Yep. Which would tell you, that's one of the clues. And then there's stuff like you see kind of like buildings with like extra stuff bolted onto it. Like it was there and someone came along and built more on top of it.
Yep.
Type of thing. And you see that a couple times throughout. When they're going up one of the columns to get to one of the levels, there's a pathway going around inside, and then at one point the pathway is destroyed, and someone built a new pathway going around the destroyed part. But it was very rickety, and they almost died.
Would have been fine if they didn't take a really heavy vehicle on it.
Yeah, well, they kind of
wasn't exactly built for that.
Yeah, but they kind of needed that vehicle.
Yeah, it kind of had no other.
Had all the supplies on it.
Well, and speaking of the pillars, that was the second pillar they came up to. The first one was, there's supposed to be an elevator inside of it, but it was broken, and someone had gone and built a second one on the outside.
Yep.
Which was also rickety and
yeah, and leaned.
It broke.
Yeah, it went. Oh no,
it broke. It tried to put a big heavy vehicle on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can definitely tell throughout this that the city was there, things went bad, and then civilization started to come back and kind of built on top of the ruins, and then things went bad again. And
yeah, and usually by the final episode, I remember in the final episode, they do start to give you a lot of information very quickly. The thing is, it's just, you only get bits and pieces, so you can kind of piece together what happened, but not completely, at least of the first civilization, shall we say. You can piece together whatever happened there. Like, it basically seems like Japan got into a war and got hit pretty hard and lost, and possibly there might have been some sort of mutual destruction or whatever it was. Something went down, and now this city's ruined, and then people just kind of lived there and built a new civilization on top of it. And then that civilization got into a fight of some sort. We know there's bits and pieces. Something happened. This was within their lifetime, because when they're really little, their, I guess, grandpa, whoever it was, sent them away with a bunch of supplies and stuff, and
to save them.
Yeah. And we hear gunfire and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something went down.
Yeah.
Twice. But yeah, from what I pieced together from particularly from the final episode is, Japan got into a war of some sort, and this was some indeterminate point in the future. Like, they now have this massive stacked, multi-layered city, and then there's like these android things that come along and start shooting up the place, and that's something.
The whole android thing.
And there's also a video of like these school children, like these girls who built a robot, which looks a lot like a robot they met, or like a lot of the robot designs they see earlier. So it makes you wonder if that's the genesis of the whole thing. This group of school girls right here.
Well, at least for maybe the second one, or, I don't know. Because
I'm talking about the first one, because with the robots and stuff, like, it's clear, it's like these are the girls who maybe grew up and started things, or started the company or whatever, and they started building these particular robots, and those robots kind of became, big part of society, and then
robot uprising.
Not robot uprising.
Or it wouldn't be a robot uprising.
But they became so integrated, and then we got the massive killing ones that they encountered one.
And fired it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, the robots, they ran into a couple still active ones. Yeah,
there's in there an aquarium.
The aquarium, and the one fish left that one of the robots was trying to keep alive.
Yeah, because that was their job, to look after the aquarium.
And then the other one was the construction one,
who apparently got orders to destroy it,
to tear it down. Because I think if I remember correctly, the explanation was the construction one was trying to maintain the city. Yeah. But, there's only so many supplies, so it's having to destroy certain parts to build other parts.
And if it's no longer useful, then to get rid of it.
Yep.
And something deemed the aquarium no longer useful. And that was an interesting episode, because we had the whole, like, the weird, I guess, robot code or something.
Yep.
Constantly appearing with the beeps and clicks.
Yep. They try to communicate with each other. And
now also, that was a weird one, because the episode also ended with a weird thing with the robot language or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's also the other humans that they met. Yeah,
there was the first one, Kanazawa.
Yeah, he
was the cartographer.
Yeah, he made maps.
And then
he lost all his maps.
Yes.
And he freaked. Just let me go.
Just let me die. It's not
because he went to dive after them, and they held on to him, and because they're on the elevator, and he went to dive after his maps went off, and then they just asked him to let him go, just because, well, it's disappointed these maps are gone.
Yep. His entire life's work is now gone.
So I guess he starts over.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other one they met was Ishii, who's tried to build a plane. She's trying to build a plane so she go to another city. She's out on the horizon.
Yep. There's another island out there, and she was trying to fly to it.
And yeah, the plane fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably because it was made of scrap.
Yep. By someone who had
She
never,
survived.
who only ever built a plane based off of blueprints, and that's all you know about it.
Yep.
Chances are it's not going to work very well. Did pretty
She's-
good for a first shot, though.
She survived.
Yep. She had a parachute.
At least she survived as far as we
As
saw.
far as we saw.
Until, well, later there's these creatures that they encounter. One of them, they find one called Nuko.
Nuko.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
The not a cat.
And yeah, it's like eats bullets and communicates through the radio they have. And yeah, it says it turns out that the whole species was like, yeah, they can eat the weapons and stuff, and they stabilize them. It's like, because they found a nuclear submarine.
Yeah, the final episode basically concludes they find a sub,
Mm-hmm.
an old nuclear sub,
With its payload still there.
up a whole bunch of levels in the city, which doesn't make any sense. How the heck you get a submarine up that high?
Someone got.
Still active.
It's definitely from the old civilization.
Yes, that's...
You know, a robot picked it up. And
That's the only thing I can think of is they craned it up somehow. The question of why, I don't know. Also, the weird one is that it connects to the camera.
yeah, they had a camera. They got a camera from Kanazawa, and
Yeah.
they've been taking pictures with it and whatnot, and then it just auto synced to the camera when they tried to take a picture.
Yeah. So that part was a bit odd, and that's how they saw all the pictures from way in the past, because apparently the camera's been around that long. It's a
And
really
video.
sturdy camera.
It's an old camera.
It's from the old world,
Yep.
before things went really bad.
Again, that's
Which-
implied that's our future.
Yeah, which it does imply that the high-tech robots and stuff did actually come from the first generation,
Mm-hmm.
because they built all the super high-tech stuff. But yeah, really, really interesting how all of that comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's very introspective, and I do really, really like things that make you think.
Mm-hmm.
And introspection is definitely one of those. It definitely pushed all the right buttons. It's a character and world building, driven story. Usually you pick one of three. It's either a lore, a world building, or a character driven story. And this one picks two. It goes for characters and world building.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely interesting to see that, and I think they pulled it off really well.
Yeah, and the anime only covers 4 of the 6 manga volumes.
Yeah, there's more.
There's 2 more volumes of the manga, which this doesn't cover, which apparently gets a little darker.
Yeah, apparently, the ending is...
Yeah, apparently the ending is kind of extra dark because the implications of it basically that we're seeing their last moments, possibly.
Yeah, the anime ends before they make it to the top.
Yeah,
they never actually make it to the final level. Because it's I guess it's always theorized, and the girls are, I think, they're theorizing that there may still be people left on the top levels.
Yeah.
And that's where they're trying to get to.
Yep.
But it ends before they get there.
Yeah. It ends with them leaving the sub and having seen those other things fly away like mushrooms.
Yeah, they turn from statue things into mushrooms.
Well, they weren't statues.
Well,
They were
yeah.
like these weird goo monsters.
Yeah, goo monsters.
And
After
then,
Yuri sort of gets eaten. Was it
Yeah.
Yuri that got...
yeah, Yuri's
Yeah,
the one
it
who
was-
got eaten.
But no, it didn't want to eat the human.
Wanted the
Like
radio.
I said, they don't eat live people.
Yeah.
They only wanted the radio on her neck.
Because they consume weapons and power sources.
Yep. They take anything that has an energy...
Including the
signal-
nukes, apparently.
Including the nukes. Oh, that's a very...
They stabilized
energy
it.
potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because hey, mushrooms, like a mushroom cloud.
Rather pointed there.
A little bit. Well, yeah, Japan kind of has that special relationship with nukes.
Well, considering they're the
Yeah,
only country
that's
that
what I'm
have
getting
them
at.
used against them. Yep.
Like those creatures told him, like, we haven't seen any living humans in the lower levels, but we haven't checked the top level, which would also imply that Kanazawa and Ishii are both dead as well.
Yep.
It's like, oh, geez. Either that or somehow they just didn't see them. What done
Yeah.
those two things?
They never... I guess maybe they kind of explain the statues. The statues are obviously representations of the creatures that they see.
Yeah.
But are they, actual statues or are they something else?
I think they're just statues. Yeah, because remember they broke one?
Yeah, but it's because they seem to be kind of placed haphazardly.
Yeah.
And it's almost like maybe tombstones or maybe the creatures, if they die, they turn to a statue. That's what I was thinking at first, but I'm not entirely certain.
Those creatures aren't explained. They don't know where they come from or anything.
Yeah, they just kind of show up to say that they eat things and then they disappear as flying mushrooms.
I mean, there's definitely religion was formed around them.
Yeah, which is also like maybe it wasn't super haphazard. They just kind of placed them as like weird little altars or whatnot,
like saints or guardians or
so they may have just been built.
Again, the lava is also haphazard because you have a civilization building on top of another civilization.
Speaking of haphazard, there's something to point out in some of the sections of the city are just weird that make no sense. Like people couldn't have built that.
Yeah.
They never explain it. They never even really point out the weirdness of some of them, like buildings that are built on like stalks, bent stock things all over the place. It's just like,
yeah,
what?
It's possible those weren't always like that.
Yeah, I don't know. They never explain it. Unless it's like, the robots are building it and the robots got all wigged out.
That's possible too. Now the other thing, I think getting to the characters themselves. So you got Cheeto and Yuri again. Cheeto is she's the one who drives the vehicle, the Kettenkrad, and she reads a lot. She's all that stuff. She's kind of, I guess, the one who leads them.
Yeah, she's sort of the de facto leader. She's the smart, literate one who has like a plan.
Yeah, she tends to be pretty calm and whatnot, and gets kind of annoyed by Yuri. And Yuri likes to eat.
Likes to eat. She's also a really good shot.
Yeah, and she's also a little more easy to get excitable, shall we say? And there's even one point that the whole thing with the aquarium, Yuri wanted to eat the fish until finally she eventually wanted to save the fish because something changed. Something got into her head finally.
Yeah,
something got through to her and she wanted to save the fish. Until later, she kind of just marking how she wanted to eat that fish, and and she was like, "What the heck?" Yeah, so it's interesting because this is an anime where they pretty much have to rely entirely on two characters to carry the whole thing. If these two characters didn't work, the whole thing would fall apart.
Yeah.
And because it's all you have is two characters, and they have to be very strongly written characters for it to work.
Yeah, with how they wrote the world, you can't, like I said, it's a character-driven and world-building story, but the way they made the world is that you have to have something to drive it. Because it's so dystopian and like dead.
Yeah.
You have to have some way to go through it. And that's what the characters do.
Yeah. And something I did notice, which is interesting, which is this is not necessarily in the anime, but I have the collector's edition Blu-ray set, and there came with little books and stuff, and I was looking through them, and the Kettenkrad, their little vehicle, it's a German World War II vehicle, but it's not from World War II. That's a freshly built one, or at least freshly built comparatively.
Yeah.
And also Yuri's rifle is a World War I Japanese rifle. But it's also, again, fairly new, which is interesting.
So maybe the Kettenkrad and the rifle are rebuilds from the second civilization.
That's what I guess is the second civilization that got access, are replicating. Mostly it's just most of what they build is just replicating stuff they saw.
Yep.
And just haphazardly without any real understanding of it or anything. Just kind of, this looks like it'll be useful, and build it. And that's why it seems seemingly back to more low-tech weaponry and whatnot, because, well, you can replicate it, but okay, you can't make it move because you don't know how the robot works. You don't know how the software works, so you can't see it and replicate it very easily.
Yep.
So it's all, mechanical again. So they can build that stuff easily, so that's what they do.
Yep.
That's my guess.
Yeah, that's sort of what it seems like. It's interesting when they find the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
almost looked like I'm not entirely certain what kind of a plane it was, but it kind of reminded me of like a B-52. But
yeah, they also see a bunch of destroyed tanks and whatnot, remnants of war.
Yep.
Which again, a lot of the stuff feels like a lot of that stuff feels like it's from the second civilization, because it's much lower tech than the.
Yeah, than the first
robots
one.
and whatnot. Then you got stuff like there's a massive hole punched through the floor and everything, like something blew through it. And
Yeah, that
so
was
like that looked like it was a remnant from the first one.
Second to last.
Something like that. Yeah, they had it looked like that hole was made by something like one of those robots, and then people, in the second civilization decided that was a good plot spot to defend, so you got a whole bunch of gun emplacements and stuff surrounding said hole, ready to shoot things that come through it.
Yep, that was one that they pointed out, like, wait a minute, all these guns are all pointed to the same spot. All pointed to this hole. Oh.
Makes you wonder if almost tribal things kind of formed within the same city, and then all these tribes look at each other.
Possibly, especially with a multi-tier city like that. You get the people on the higher levels thinking the lower level are lesser.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And trying to keep them down, or we'll start forming those kind of tribes based off of levels.
Who knows on that front? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
There's a lot of visual and like partial storytelling going on. You see a lot of stuff.
You have to fill in the gaps yourself.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that you see, but isn't explained.
They don't even touch on it.
Yeah,
the characters themselves won't really talk about it at all.
Yeah,
it is kind of you notice it and you go, "What's that about?"
Yep.
Granted, the final episode does do the massive just, hey, here's a whole bunch of information.
Here's a whole bunch of lore dump.
And scattershot and, yeah.
And it's interesting, the way they introduce information to the viewer basically puts the viewer in the same spot as the characters. Mm-hmm. You're just as confused as the characters are.
Often, yes.
Where a lot of other things will, like, the viewer tends to know more than the character. They get to see things that the characters wouldn't and stuff like that. But in this case, not really.
Yeah.
You really get to put yourself in the shoes of the characters as you see them.
Sometimes you do, like, it's happening because you know.
Right. There is a little bit here and there, but it's more than I see in other places.
Yeah. The two characters themselves are again, they're teenagers who are just kind of finding things and don't know what to do. It's like, is this useful? Is this useful for survival? Nope. Okay. Let's get rid of it. Except sometimes he's got stuff like they found, the radio they found, and like basically it turns out that's a graveyard of sorts.
Yeah.
Like they found the boxes. These are boxes of dead people's possessions, and like, nope, put these back. We got to put these back. We got to put these back.
Yep.
This is wrong. But Yuri kept the radio anyway.
Kept the radio,
which turned out to be a good thing in the end.
Yep.
And Yuri just apparently has just been scrounging just bullets constantly, even the ones that don't fit in her gun. Just grabs them anyway.
That's like when they get up to in the later episode, and they get up to one of the higher levels. when they find the Nuka, the cat.
Yeah.
She has the freaking tank shell.
Yep.
Like, no,
you don't need that.
You don't need that. Or she feeds the 50 BMG to Nuko and just doesn't even fit.
Yeah, he's trying so hard to eat it.
It takes it like an entire episode to eat that thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Particularly just the way they interact with each other, and all, it's just interesting in and of itself. They've got a lot of stuff about sometimes, Cheeto gets annoyed with Yuri sometimes.
Sometimes it's just like half
and
the time they're together.
Smacks her or hits her or whatever because Yuri's being a moron again.
Yep.
And of course, sometimes we have to see Yuri has to kind of keep Cheeto in check because like Cheeto just falls asleep at the wheel.
Wake up! A couple times they have
crash.
to wake up before they run into something.
And a couple times they're like, "Good thing we have these helmets," because when they get the camera, these statues kind of look like you, Cheeto. No, they don't. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They have that side-looking glance.
Yep. There's all that stuff going on between them. Yeah, the thing is, the two of them have a weirdly defined relationship, shall we say.
It is, yeah.
There is a thing about how the talk about how they can do this without the other, and they love each other and all that stuff, but it's not like that.
Yeah,
necessarily.
It's weird. There's not a huge, at least in the anime, I don't know about the manga, but there doesn't seem to be a huge like romantic relationship
No.
It does seem fairly almost platonic or sibling-esque at times, but it also isn't. It's like you said, it's weird.
There's a one bit where like when they found the beer and got drunk.
That one definitely throws a wrench into things.
Yeah, the show's basically the thing is these are two kids who never learned about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They just know that the two of them need to survive on each other, and they need to depend on each other to survive.
They need each other to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need that, and also just that the two of them would, like, if the other was gone, that even if they could survive on them, I'm not sure they would want to anymore. It got to that point where it was like the other person is too important for them.
Yep.
And all that stuff. They need each other in more than just and they need each other in more than just to survive.
Basic
I think
survival
I'm
needs.
getting to. It's not just for survival. It's like they need each other for more than that. So their bond is the thing. And apparently the manga author, apparently Sukazumu, who has writes a lot of out there and often depressing stuff. It's what they're known for.
Yeah.
And they have this very, very standout art style. They more or less like to imply that these two of them, if things were different, if the world hadn't ended and they're able to live a normal life, then the two of them probably would have gotten together romantically. But they don't have that. That's now, well, you didn't have a chance to learn about romance or anything, so...
And they didn't really have enough time to figure it out on their own.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of like they just know the other person is super important.
They have a very, very, very strong emotional bond to each other.
Yeah.
The nature of that bond is indeterminate.
Yeah. It's important.
Yes.
Because there's a whole apparently anthology manga, that's a thing which sometimes happens with a series. Like they'll just have a whole bunch of different authors come in and write a short story, and then sometimes like in this case, the normal author will come in and write one as well. And yeah, it's it's semi-canon. It was a weird thing where apparently Cheeto was dreaming of, because they found a theater and watched a movie, and Cheeto was dreaming of the two of them in the circumstances of the movie. So, yeah. Cheeto kind of saw the appeal, but like, didn't fully understand, and kind of just woke Yuri up as well, and they left. And that was kind of more or less the story. But yeah, it's a weird thing of like, apparently it's not unexpected, because this author has also drawn a lot of other Yuri stuff as well.
Yeah.
Not the character Yuri, the Yuri genre. Oh, that's not confusing at all.
No, it's totally not confusing.
But usually, it's the two of them. So the two of them are just kind of dependent on each other, and just I think they really have a good dynamic going, which makes the anime much, I guess, not as depressing at times, because otherwise I think
it's a shining light in a sea of depression.
Yeah, it's like you're just seeing how destroyed everything is, just how messed up everything is. There's a whole bunch of stuff, how hopeless it is. You're just realizing like all that stuff, like how much they have to scrounge, and they're just alone together, just wandering around. And their whole purpose in life is just to keep going.
Yep,
that's it. They don't have any other real, except, well, I guess, to get to the top. But that's the only hope of, well, continued survival.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you get this, you kind of pick up on that. It's a kind of a hopeless situation. And the manga apparently ends with that, again, very much a heavily implied end. Apparently, at that point, my understanding is that even their vehicle is completely broken down. It's like they're out of gas and they can't find more, or something like that. Anyway, they're on foot, and then they just kind of get to the top, and there's nothing there. Literally nothing. And it's kind of like, well, now what? Like I said, not exactly the happiest.
Not a happy story, but a definitely good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something else. Again, the unique visual style, really, really like. It's very different from most.
Very stretchy
anime.
faces.
Yeah. Most anime manga, it's very different style. It's kind of often sometimes a degree of messiness to the characters that you don't really see in a lot of other anime. Oh, the music.
Music's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of music puts very well. There's that really sad song at the end with they hear over the radio. And like
Oh,
they don't know what it is, but it just makes them feel really sad. And it turns out it's because there's this song that the creatures are singing, kind of as a mourning for the humans, I guess.
I guess
Or something like that.
I try to
And
remember.
each way it
It's
was,
kind of
sad. Each way
Yeah,
it's
it's
intended to be
sad.
sad, and it's like, yeah, it was a really nice song too, very haunting.
Yep.
But the weird thing is also the contrast. The OP and ED are very upbeat.
Yeah. Really upbeat. And then you get hit with the sad
Yeah.
and the depressing.
And it's really upbeat OP and ED, which also really have really cool visuals in them as well.
Yes.
Also, apparently the OP kind of, there's the very last scene of the OP has, you see the uniforms and whatnot just kind of, someone said the kind of arranged as if it was a gravesite. It's like, oh, that's, they kind of, it's like, yeah, they tell you the end right there in the OP. That the OP and ED are just so weird, and they work as only because of how much they contrast, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough to describe, but I would agree that the contrast between them, it works.
Yeah, because it's like happy up, somber,
Yep.
depressing. Like, I wouldn't say this is super depressing to watch, but yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah, because I've seen more depressing stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not exactly the happiest thing. It's like, again, it's just that, especially it's like, yeah, you'll see them having a good time and laughing and having fun. Then you kind of like, oh, right, yeah.
Oh, right.
Everything's
the world's
screwed.
Gone to hell.
Everything's screwed. They're
Yeah.
screwed on so many levels.
Just as many as the city has.
Yeah. It's really hard to talk about in more length than this, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, I just really enjoyed it overall.
It's a really good, sort of depressing, but introspective look at, I guess, nature of humans and war.
Possibly a little bit.
Oh yeah,
That scene with the robot. I remember that because
which one?
the when they climbed to the robot thing,
the big one,
the big one,
and accidentally,
yeah, because Nuko basically, because apparently these things can also activate the thing.
It transformed itself
messing
into a key. Yeah,
they're kind of messing with it, and Yuri accidentally fires it off
twice.
Well, the first time it was an accident.
Yeah,
blew things up and set everything on fire, and then she just fires again, and she's like laughing and stuff, and Cheeto kind of freaks out and just yells at Yuri and hits her and says it's not funny.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah.
Look at what you just did, as basically the
Like,
whole city in front of them is now on fire after a single blast.
Yep. Although then this automated thing kicked in, which turned on sprinklers and sucked up the smoke and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, huh.
Part of the city is still operating. Still has
that.
power from
That's the other
somewhere.
thing. We see that parts of the city still function.
Yes.
Autonomously.
Which means the creatures haven't taken all of the power yet.
Like there was at one point they even found hot water.
Yes.
Like still running and whatnot. Like some parts of the city just still work. Not all of it, but some of it.
Some of it still does. The robots are keeping it active.
Some of them.
And then they killed one.
And so also the robot designs are interesting because there's little stick legs and stuff that all designed to kind of just suck up into a little box.
Yeah.
Everything. It's kind of interesting how that's designed.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there about that's just the horrifying nature of war and everything. It's there, but it's not like
maybe a slight tip of the hat to the propensity of humans to kill each other.
A little bit, yeah. There's that. There, of course, the nukes are bad because
nukes are bad.
Yeah. There's a bunch of that, and then I guess perseverance that their perseverance through all of this, just despite how bad everything got, they're still going.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go through on this.
Definitely enjoyable. Definitely recommend to watch.
Just definitely a recommendation for sure. It's just
for sure.
Yeah, just know that it is not happy all the time.
Don't expect a good time.
Yeah. And even weirdly enough, even though the ending of the anime is still like kind of like somewhat upbeat, like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna on our little journey here.
Yeah.
But then
that's where the anime ends.
Yeah, but then the manga keeps going.
So there's more.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's still really good though.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I'm trying to stretch this out longer, but I don't think we are going to.
I think we're in the point of repetition.
Yeah, we're not going to make it, unfortunately. So this is going to be a shorter episode than usual, but
It happens.
It's one of those things where, without talking super detailed stuff, we can't really
Yeah.
get into it. And we could get really into like nitty gritty of the episodes and whatnot.
Like the fact that twice the girls almost get crushed because of someone else dropping a building on them or something.
yeah, they building up, blown up by Kanazawa.
Yeah, to
Just
make
trying to make a bridge.
And then it happened again. I'm trying to remember what exactly where it was, but something else almost fell on them too.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if that was where that was. But yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. Oh yeah, they made rations, their own rations, because they found out the potatoes, because the scientists showed them, like, hey, yeah, you can have these if you help me with the build of the plane. And then they found that where they were, and then, oh, hey, this is how those rations we keep finding are made, and they find the flavors. Yeah.
Yep.
All that stuff.
And got those things working.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that's it. For real this time. For real. For real. Yeah, it's great.
It is.
Yeah, if you liked this and want to check out other episodes of our podcast, you can go to newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn, and check out all episodes, past, future, present. You can subscribe to our RSS feed right there. And of course, check out the other links which we have to other ways of obtaining this episode. You can go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or YouTube. And any of those you can search for New to Weeaboo. Of course, with Google Play, you have to go to play.google.com/music if you want to find out. Otherwise, it doesn't work because of reasons.
Yeah.
Go figure, yeah. You can search for us on any of those and subscribe on any of those, and it will work, and you'll get new episodes as they come out. And we are at this point, we are bi-weekly, which is great because we can do this more often. Talk about more anime.
More anime.
More!
All the animes.
Yes. And of course, you can contact us if you want to do so. You can go to newtoweeaboo@gmail.com and send us what you thought of this episode. What you think of Girls Last 2 if you watched it. Do you have any suggestions for stuff we should watch? We're not going to watch certain things for sure, but other stuff we'll put in consideration, or we might have already put it on our list of things to watch. Who knows? Yep. Usually it will take a while. If you give a suggestion, we accept it. Might take a while because we do have a full docket already of stuff to watch. I plan way in advance for this thing.
We actually do have some planning, yes.
Yes. And of course, you could also follow us on Twitter @NewToWeeaboo. You can follow us there, retweet us, like our retweets, all that stuff. Put new episodes up there as they come out as well. Of course, you can also follow all personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alcatraz _ at the end and a 7 instead of a T. I've been seeing you retweet. You're actually using it.
Well, I mean, retweeting is border.
That's still really, using it.
I guess that's using it.
And I actually just released a review, which you probably might have seen on the Weeaboo account. I reviewed the Nendoroid Sakura Minamoto.
And Truck-kun.
From Zombieland Saga. Yeah, because that just came out tonight, so of course I reviewed it because, why wouldn't I buy it? I love Zombieland Saga.
Yes, you do.
But of course, like I said in the review, I want Tayamada.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's it. Tune in 2 weeks from now. We'll be talking about Sailor Moon R. Yes, we're going back to that.
Back to Sailor Moon.
Because that's what we're going to do. Yes, I think you figured out the game plan here, hopefully, from there. From that. So, yep. Yeah, that's going to be fun, I think. Sailor Moon is usually a fun time. Again, hope you like this. Hope you tune in next time. Take care.
See ya.
Adios.